This is the Shawn Yankee Show.
And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Today, we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack.
This episode of the Shawn Yankee Show is being brought to you by the support of viewers like me. We realize the importance of independent media and truth in this time of mass deceit and propaganda. We have decided to fight for and support it to keep it alive. You can help us in this fight for truth. Contribute at patreon.com/Shawn Yankee. Thanks for coming to the show. It'll begin soon.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Shawn Yankee Show. We're having an event tonight, so I'm a little disheveled because things are up in the air right now. We're waiting on a guest, for one. I'm just going to be honest with you. He's coming. He just texted me, and he's on his way. But, you know, it's a live show, and it starts at a certain time, and that just sometimes technology, things get thrown in. You know what I mean? We're going to make do, though. Anyways, hold on. That's what's confusing me and why I seem distracted right now. But you are in the right place. I think we have both people here right now. Now, this is going to be kind of on the fly when we first start out. We do have an agenda tonight. You may be here for it. I'm going to tell you a little more about it here in a second when I bring our guests up. We have guests tonight on the Shawn Yankee Show. We have a special event. There's a debate that I am hosting tonight at the request of a friend of the show, Tony Smith. As a lot of you know, and is a friend of mine and a friend of the show, Watcher of God, Tony Smith, who is also a fellow live streamer. He reached out to me and asked me if I would host a debate. He's having a disagreement. And I wanted to meet, I didn't get a chance to, but I wanted to meet our other participant today. Well, we lost Tony again. Okay, when I have them both in the green room, when I can see them both, then I will know that I can go to them, and I'll go to them. But our other guest, and I didn't get to see if this is the proper pronunciation of his name, but Odios Fainéant, who I have not met yet. I have become a friend of his on Facebook, so I'm looking forward to seeing his content. I'm looking forward to finding out what he's all about and what he talks about and shares and what he's into, you know, and we'll find out. I don't know right now, though, but I also don't know very much about what's going on. I don't know much about the disagreement that they're having. I know that it has to do with false prophets. And I watched a promo, you may have seen it, for this very debate that Tony made, and it summed up his side of it a little bit. But in talking with Odios, it kind of seemed like his version was a tad different. They have different perspectives. So that's what we're going to find out tonight. They're all going to get equal time. I'm going to moderate. I'll be totally neutral. At the end, we will get into all of your comments and mine as well. any questions that I may have. I'll be taking notes during. I've got my notepad ready. But comment. I probably won't be putting them up, and putting them on the screen because I don't want to throw anything off. They're going to get equal time to present their sides. But I think they're both ready. When Odios looks settled to me, and he looks like he's ready to go, I will get my ears on and bring them into the studio because I want to explain this more in detail, but I want everybody here when I do that. I want them both in the room because even though like I said, I agreed to do this and I'm going to do it completely neutral, but I don't know much about what they're actually going to talk about, so we're going to find that all out together. Damn, I lost Tony again. Maybe he's having some kind of internet problems. I'm going to message Tony and find out why he keeps dropping out of the feed. And again, I apologize for that. So let me just shoot him a message real quick. I just want to make sure everybody's stable and set. Like I said, I meant to do this before. I apologize that it's happening live, but we didn't get a chance to. Things didn't line up that way. There he is. Tony's back now. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I am going to just go to these guys and bring them in. While I got them both in the room, we're going to straighten this out. So let's see. All right, this is going to be on the fly. Let's just make sure that we have audio. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
I can
cool.
hear Tony as well. Hi,
That's
Tony.
good. We all can hear each other. Now, I didn't get to meet our guest beforehand. I know Tony, but is your name Odios?
Well, that's not my given name. I have a given name. This name I saw, it wasn't a name. I was looking up words. And as soon as I came across them, it was just like, that's my name. This is what my dad's always called me, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, idle, right. Useless, do nothing. Right. You'll never amount to anything.
Purpose. That's what your name means.
Yeah. So I was like, man, this is great. This is the summation of the curse that my own, dad has been giving me without realizing. Like the guys, I've done lives that make it seem like I'm vilifying them and attacking them when I'm asking questions that they refuse to answer. That's when I start losing it. I have loved the truth since I'm in diapers, and I can handle anything but lies. Now, they're not directly lying, but their aversion to answering questions or allowing me to introduce myself I'm now 58. I'm 58 now. This amount and be opposed this much directly by them when it's brought to their attention. I mean, it's clearly a spiritual attack, and they're amazing people. Like I have nothing. I said to my wife even a few days ago, and I've said it for years. I said, me on my best days compared to my father on his worst days, it would take me over 100 years. Like I would never amount to him. Like he's that competent. I think he has reading problems, dyslexia, so on and so forth, but naturally intelligent, very competent in everything he does, generous, you name it, can't stand me. And my mom as well. She was going to be a doctor. Like they both lost everything. They haven't dealt with their trauma. They don't talk about it. I deal with traumatized people from around the world daily, like extreme trauma. They won't even allow me to introduce myself as the name that they gave me. That is basically the name of the original patriarch from like 10 or 11 generations ago, right? Which would have been my great-great-grandfather. I mean, whatever, right? So that's that name, and I'm not going to use it specifically. Many of them know it. I like. You said it pretty good. Odious Spanian. Pardon?
Odious.
Yeah. OT's fine. There's various ways of saying it. So
Otis?
I say Osha Spaniel, but they're in Australia it's Otois. I like that. I like otoi, odios, everyone has a different way of saying it. I like to hear them all, right? Yeah, but I prefer Ocious, but OT's what seems to have stuck. Yeah.
All right. Ocious. I'll go with Ocious.
Yeah, no, well, no one really calls me that anymore, right? So, but anyway, yeah.
I meant for our tonight's purposes.
Yeah,
right
okay.
Now,
well,
we're
just
going to
stay
have
with OT.
kind of an organized discussion.
Great. Yeah.
We keep losing Tony, though.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's funny because I know a lot of, I don't know how many people are watching now and then how many will end up watching it and whatnot. But hey, can you keep it down, please? Like, honestly, he's a great dog. We're going to have like extremely religious King James only, very concise, very down to the letter, legalistic, law-abiding, whichever way you go. So we're going to have the maximum extreme on that regard. Then we'll have kind of the quasi regular religious guys with the regular religious, other religions and all their sects and things like that. And then we're going to have what I like to call the woohoos, right? The cosmic, great void that's profoundly deep and whatever else. And, they're spiritual, but they're more spiritualistic and involved in spiritualism and this kind of stuff rather than pure spirit and things like that. Now, if you'll notice regular religions, they're nowhere near having the spirit of God. Otherwise, you could easily point to a religion and say, see, that one works. Just shut your mouth, OT. This religion right here works. Here's the proof. There you go. So now I'm forced just by living life and loving it and just being myself, being in the right place or the wrong place at the right time, whatever the deal is, that I've come to be able to be put in a spot, hopefully, and find other like-minded people to shift their perspective so that I can move move them without moving them. Like, the paradigm shot, so we need a new one. We don't have the infrastructure to do it, to compete with the elite that control the money and blah, 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 right? So now we're going to have to do it where we are, how we are, when we are, and we better do it friggin' fast. And if people are not lined up of one accord, they will not synchronize any type of heart vibrations and pulsations, which are frequencies, with their beats, their percussions. And these are timed. Time starts in the beginning. That's what time means. So now, if you take that with my education, my natural predilections, gifts, experiences, diligence, hard work, accidental stuff, right? Haphazard things, and just paying attention to things, I'm at the position where I can coalesce it from A to Z, basically, because I was trained by a really good psychologist that was also a neuroscientist. He studied the brain, but he also was an early psychoneuroimmunologist, right? So this relates to the fear vibration that is the opposite of love. Everybody thinks hate is the opposite of love, but it's not. It's fear. So when people don't know everything about somebody, they default to fear. So they then start to spin what they perceive of the sensation external to them, because everything outside of us programs us, right? You can't look at something and not be affected with it. Well, it's affecting us physically, even if we don't touch it, because it's breaking us down on a neurophysiological and neurochemical level that operates basically on light pulsations, and then which could be basically generating what people seem to call a simulacra, or a simulated experience of a perceived world. Now,
right on.
Let
me break in.
Sure.
Tony's finally back.
Oh, okay. I can't see him here on my side.
Well,
so
I know, because I haven't brought him in yet, but now I'm going to try again. Are you okay there, Tony?
And when he
Can you
comes
hear me?
in,
Yeah.
Tony,
Hey,
if-
I was on my Tor browser, and the Tor browser is private, so it kept kicking me out.
oh,
So
okay.
I changed to Google Chrome.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, Tony, if somehow like things interrupt us, what I was leaning into is because Tony is going to be representative of God and the spirits, around us, like the woohoos can tune in and this and that, but people are attaching their lines of attention to us. So now what you have is basically some 5-dimensional UFC fight in higher realms and unseen principalities and things like this. So people could be attaching like they did to my wife, a couple of years ago on the Quantum Effect channel. She got blasted with microphone problems, and they banned and they took it down within hours. It was exposing medical and pharmaceutical chemical spellbinding, which is basically every supplement, Flintstone vitamin, Diet Coke, injection, pill, prescription, you name it.
Right.
It has a signature that attaches, and then they recombine and form different things that lead people to kill themselves, right? So I'm trying to save a lot of people that way. And so is she. But it was boom, boom, boom. It was negative energy. I was getting messages because I was watching. It's like they're getting attacked, right? And that might be been happening to Tony. And I was going to say, if you're in the midst of something, I'll time out. I won't talk. I won't divert it or try and influence it. And then if you have to come back, you can just kind of pick it up again, right? I don't want you to think I'm going to give you any kind of shots while you're looking the other way or something like that. So,
yeah,
but feel free to interrupt me at any time.
Have a structured, organized discussion. Because that's
okay,
what's
can you review
happening,
those quickly? We get 7 minutes each to just say whatever we want to say, and then
So well, it's kind of right, but what's going to happen is there's 3 rounds. So we're going to have an organized discussion, like a debate, and there is a disagreement between the two of you about some issues. So it's going to be hashed out, but you're going to have equal time. So how it's going to go is there'll be 3 rounds. The first round, I figure you each get 7 minutes uninterrupted for an opening statement.
Okay.
So you present whatever you want. Tony's the one that asked me to do this debate, and he was the one that presented the qualm to me. Although I'm neutral here, I don't actually really know.
No, he should go first. I mean, it's Tony's idea, and
that's what we're doing. So Tony's going to go first. He's going to lead us off and lay out his opening presentation, and then you will have 7 minutes to give your opening presentation. After that, we're going to have a rebuttal. So you'll have 7 minutes.
So both of us go 7-7, and then the rebuttal or the questions.
Yeah, after you're done, I'll wrap you up, and then I'll give Tony a chance to have a rebuttal to what you said. During that, he can, if he wants, ask you a question.
During the rebuttal.
Questions if he wants. He can use
yeah. But that happens after we both go for 7 minutes, right?
Yes, after your opening statements. But during the rebuttal, like 7 minutes, he can ask you questions if he wants, or you can ask him. But I would ask either participant, and I'll try to keep it this way, that you just answer the question. Don't go on your own
question that they're asking. Yeah, okay,
right.
Sure. Yeah.
Just directly give them the information they're wanting or whatever the clarification they want as quickly as you can, and then wrap it back up so they can have their full time. Because you'll get 7 minutes to do that. So you can question each other. And then you'll have a 7-minute closing statement after that round.
Sounds good.
So you'll get to present your ideas and views. And then I thought that I could ask questions because I'm going to write notes during. I won't interject with my own questions during. I'm going to want to know things too. And then people in the audience, we're going to go to their questions after. So
that sounds good to me, y'all.
Everything sounds good. Is everybody ready, you think? Do you think we're ready to begin? Because it's a lot to go
through. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let me make sure I got my timekeeper and stuff here. I want to stay on this as much as I can. So, like I said, I'm going to be neutral during it. I'm not going to interject my own opinions. I think you guys should lay out your views. I think the way it's structured will give you a chance to do that. And then afterwards, we can have our discussion. We can all discuss it between each other. But during, I just want everybody to respect that. And then I will try to, make sure everybody gets their full time and all that and is respected.
Cool.
That'll be my role during.
Cool. I appreciate it.
Huh?
Sorry
What did
about
he
that.
say?
I had to call my wife. Did you
Oh,
hear me?
Are you ready?
I am ready now.
Okay, if everybody's set, then if you guys are ready to start, I'm gonna start here in a second. Like as soon as you get ready to start talking, Tony, you don't have to feel like I'm starting it right now. But when you get ready to go, like you can go ahead and present your opening statement and get
And
us
then
started.
you'll just start timing that okay. Here we go. I'm gonna go now. All right. The whole reason why I brought this thing is because I've been watching and I've been calling him Otisserie because when I read the name, that's what came to my mind, Otisserie, Neff, and them. And that's why I've been calling them. I'm not trying to disrespect them or downplay them or nothing. That's just what I've been saying, and ain't nobody really correcting me. Pod Johnson actually did and said, this is how you actually say his name. So that's where that come from, right? But I've been watching him and he been reading the Bible. And then people get to me and say, hey, you need to, but I've been watching them. But people say, you need to talk to this dude. You know, he reads the Bible, blase, woo, woo, skibby. So I'm watching them, I'm dealing with them, and I'm seeing things that is not good. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, he got on a post and was talking kind of messed up. And I was like, man, this dude a false prophet. You know what I'm saying? I have nothing against him personally, but if you're going to be a teacher, which is one of my questions I have for the rebuttal session is are you a teacher? You know, that's one of the questions I want to ask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show biblically the teacher and see if you match up. So let's go to Isaiah chapter 28. Because I am a teacher. And I've been doing this thing since I've been in the word for 15 years, but I've been teaching since 2015. And every time I start messing up, when I mess myself up, I leave. And I don't teach, I don't talk, I get off and I fix myself. Then I come back when I done fix myself and I'm being right. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm finna read you after I read who supposed to be the teacher. I'm gonna read you what the teacher supposed to be and how his character is supposed to be, as well as the watchman. Because this is not a game. You know what I'm saying? And nothing against you, Otisserie, but I want you to know this ain't no game. And if you're gonna be in this teaching, you need to understand these things. So let's go to Isaiah 28. And we're going to pick it up at verse 9, Isaiah 28 and 9. And it reads, whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Whom will God have teach knowledge? And whom will God make understand this Bible? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. At face value, what you say is, everybody's weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So that means everybody teach? No. Now let's go to the New Testament and show you that what that means. Weaned from the milk, drawn from the breast. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 5. And this is how you're supposed to be reading the Bible to the people so that the people can get some understanding. Because if you just reading and being a novice and just telling people what you think, you're not teaching. You're giving your own private interpretation, so you might as well be a cult. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to Hebrews chapter 5, and I'm going to try to move as fast as I can. Hebrews 5, we're going to pick it up at verse 12. Now it said, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Verse 12, Hebrews 5. And for when the time that ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become as such that need milk and not strong meat. So if you wean from the breast, You know, the milk is the first principles of the oracles of God. So let's go back to Isaiah and read it with understanding. Isaiah 28:9. And it reads, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the first principles of the oracles of God. And then if you continue reading, you'll find out that the first principles of the oracles of God are the 10 Commandments, or the feast days, the dietary law, baptism. All that stuff is easy. The meat of the word is the kingdom. The Pope being the Antichrist, as well as King Harry eventually will be the secular Antichrist ruling over Rome. And all of this is in the Bible, but that's the meat. The milk is the easy stuff. So if you don't know that you're supposed to keep the commandments of God, feast days, cleanliness laws, and all of that, and know who the priest is, after the order of Melchizedek, all this stuff's supposed to be taught. These are the things that's supposed to be taught. So the ones that's weaned from that easy stuff, them the teachers. Are you weaned from that? I have that question. Okay, let's go over to 1 Timothy chapter 3 and show you what a teacher's supposed to be. This is the teacher's character. 1 Timothy 3. Ah, shit. All right. I'm gonna have to yield, man. All right, I'm gonna have to yield.
50 seconds left.
Put him on pause.
Right. Well,
no, if he needs to read it, it's the scriptures.
Let me read it real quick.
Messenger.
Let me read this. Let me read this, and then I yield. Let me
go
read
ahead.
this. Okay, and I yield. I yield. 1 Timothy 3, 1-8. It says, this is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desire a good work. A bishop must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach, not given to wine, no striker, not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous, one that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? Not a novice. You can't be a novice, a convert, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil. So if you're going to be a teacher, man, you got to have these characteristics. And whenever I go off of those characteristics, I leave. I'll be like, gone. What, Tony Smith? Is he censored? No, I'm fucking up and I need to fix myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So I yield with that. I am challenging you as a teacher. You seem to be a teacher of the word of God. I want to know, is that what you want? So that's it. So I yield with that.
All right. So that was Tony's opening statement. Now I feel it's fair to give Otios. Is that correct? I forgot already.
Yeah, just go with OT.
So many ways.
Just go with OT.
I can say it however I want, actually.
Last night, I saw Tony made a comment on one of my thing reminding me of the thing, and I had just finished a song, the second one of two, and it was, the second one wasn't to him, but I thought about him during it. So I said, oh, I just finished one for you, so I'm going to play these songs for you now.
Well, let me give you a chance to go ahead and start. So this is OT's response.
And I love when you spill that.
Hang on, it'll get sad.
I love you. Yes, I do, even though I am blue. I love you. I always did and I always will. I love you. This my soul knows and heart always will. I love you, but my mind it is fighting still. I love you. Will you take my apologies and forgive me still? I love you. You said goodbye and took my soul to its home. I love you. As I sit and wonder all alone. I love you. This is true, it feels like I've always known. I love you. I'm all in and I'll always be. I love you. Less than 3 seconds I knew you'd be part of me. Where do I say sorry? Where do I begin? Why did you look at me when the whole world is sin? I love you. Didn't know what it was. I love me. I love you. Did I dream it or did I see? I love you. Who can I tell this to? Nobody. I love you. That is the silent between each breath. I love you. That look of goodbye I'll never forget. I love you. Don't talk to strangers. Did your parents tell you that yet? I love you. Why did it feel like you loved me too? I love you.
We have 2.5 minutes remaining.
Don't give all your time to them fucking songs, man. Talk.
Do you love me? Do you? You don't have to. You do. You don't have to love me. Just let me love you. Love me. Do you love me? Do you love me?
Bro,
Do you want me to love you? Or do you want me to forget you? I can't forget you. I can't do, 'cause I love you. I really do. Do
60
you
seconds.
love me? Say it's true. Do you love me? Do you do? Do you love me? Do you do? Do you love me? Do you do? Do you love me? With the love that's true. Do you love me? Do you do? 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 Do you love me? I love you too.
All right.
Tony, can I please have some identification? Can you identify yourself? Some ID? Tell me who you are.
That is your time, OT. That was your opening statement. That was an interesting strategy.
It's not a strategy. It's
Do
my
you
life.
love me?
I live my life. It's not a strategy. I don't play
Right.
games. I'm in games that I realize later. Typically, I win them. I'm still winning them. So, what's the game
Right on.
tonight?
Well, we're in the middle of one. We're having a debate. So now Tony gets a rebuttal to your opening statement. And remember, he can ask you questions during this. And please keep your answers brief if he chooses
Tony
to.
can
I don't
ask
know if he
questions.
will or not.
Tony can ask me questions, right? You
He
said
chooses to.
okay.
And you can him when it's your turn.
Oh, okay.
You'll
Yeah.
get 7 minutes.
All right.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
Yeah,
when you're ready to
I'm
begin,
ready.
Tony, you get 7
All right.
minutes.
All right. Man, what the hell, dude? I thought you was going to rebut. I'm calling you out saying when you're reading the Bible, you a novice. And I don't think you should set up in front of people and trying to act like you teaching the book. That's my whole point. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you this. Are you a teacher? Are you a preacher? Or are you a watchman? What is your thought process as far as the Bible is concerned? Because you playing this goddamn music, you know what I'm saying? You're not taking this shit seriously. You know what I'm saying? I take this thing seriously. This is why I even came at you, because all these people came at me saying that you read the Bible and I need to hook up with you. And then I look at you and I watch you for a couple months and you on bullshit. So I'm like, this dude ain't real. So then I'm fucking trying to be real with you and show how to read the Bible, whoop the bam, what a bishop's supposed to be. And then you play some damn I love. What the hell? You know what I mean? Are you a teacher? This is my question to you. Are you a teacher, preacher, watchman? Are you? Yes or no?
Do I answer that now?
Yes, go ahead. Answer.
Can I ask you what a watchman is first before I answer that?
A watchman is one who has the understanding of the scriptures and is able to warn the people when the Lord ready to kill motherfuckers.
Damn fucking right I'm a watchman. What the fuck do you think I'm doing?
So you're saying you're a watchman. So do you believe?
I fit the bill of a watchman. I didn't say I'm a watchman. You said you're a watchman, and you've been watching me. You've been watching me without my knowledge. Why are you watching me? Tony,
Okay, hold
Tony,
on. That's
why are you
you answered
watching
the
me?
question.
Why are you watching a watchman?
It's not your turn to
If you're
ask
a
me.
watchman, why are you watching a watchman?
I'm the watchman, and people done brought you to my attention and saying that you is on my level scripturally, and I should kick it with you. And I said,
I'm not
no.
on your level, Tony. They've made a mistake.
Okay.
Right, I just muted your mic,
You know
OT.
what?
This is Tony's time, and you're not answering a question. So I'm going to unmute your mic in a second. But I'm gonna let Tony continue. Go ahead.
Dig. If they was mistaken, then that's is on you. You have to say, hey, look, y'all, if y'all is taking me serious and trying to be, because people want the truth biblically, and if you can present it, they will sit under you and learn. You know what I'm saying? And you got people trying to sit under you and you don't even know it. So this is why I'm bringing it to your attention.
I didn't ask a question yet.
The question was, are you a teacher? Are you a teacher, preacher, or watchman? What is your, or are you just doing it just as an evangelist type, just trying to put
the question?
Yeah, here's the question.
Okay. He answered if he was a watcher.
He said he is a watchman.
Right.
Right.
You want to know if he's trying
to based on the definition, I am.
Okay, biblically.
Questions, Tony. I'm just trying.
Yes, biblically. What else are we defining it under here?
So, do you believe that you? Go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying to respect your time, but how many questions are you asking him here?
I got one more after this, and I'm through.
No, I mean, was that 3?
No, yeah, you can use some of my time too, Tony. It's I mean, if you need to, yeah.
No, the first question was, are you a preacher, teacher, watchman? He said he a watchman. And I'm saying, are you a watchman on the biblical? And he said, yeah, I'm a watchman on the biblical. So my question is, do you believe that you have enough knowledge to be calling yourself a watchman?
If I wanted to call myself a watchman, yes, I do have that knowledge.
Well, who's your father? Don't you supposed to go to your father?
Who's my father? Maybe that's the confusion. You don't know who my father is.
No, I don't. Is it King Jesus? Who your father?
Jesus Christ is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, all capitals. It never occurs in the Holy Scriptures. King, Jesus, capitalized side by side. Doesn't happen.
So what?
I don't even think it has King Jesus uncapitalized. I don't think it has that. I'll have to check. I don't read the Bible much.
If the dude that I'm reading about is a king, wouldn't it make sense to call him king? You talk to over there in England, you'll call King what's his face? Elizabeth's guy. You call him king. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I'm saying if you read the dude said, I'm the King of Kings, I got crowns coming up my leg, I'm gonna sit on my throne of my father's the throne of my father David. He the king. So what's the problem with calling him King Jesus? I'm not saying that's what needs to be done, but I'm saying what is the problem with it?
Okay.
Well,
the problem with that?
The protagonist of the Holy Scriptures that you're discussing right now is King Jesus. He happened to say that not one jot, not one tittle shall in no wise pass till all be fulfilled. And you're fucking around with the words, dude. What are you doing?
Not fucking around with the words.
If you're acting like you're of the concision, then be concise. Be concise.
That was an answer.
Be concise.
Reclaiming my time.
That you answered his question.
And you're wasting mine. You don't even know what time is. You don't even know what time is, Tony.
Reclaiming my time.
In 90 seconds, you'll get a rebuttal. I stopped your time, Tony. You have 90 seconds left.
Adam.
Okay, now he's going to take the rest of his time. When you're ready, go ahead and begin. I'll restart your time, Tony.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
My point, the point of the matter is you are not learned enough to call yourself a watchman, a teacher, or a preacher, or nothing. You're a dude on the internet who just happens to read the Bible. And that's all I want you to admit. Because you got people thinking that you is on this for real, like trying to do something with it. You know what I'm saying? Because people is hungry for this. Yes, and that's why this is why I stand in the gap. Because I got this knowledge. And I'll be damned if some dude is going to come along and try to unintentionally or intentionally deceive people. because this is my job. I've been doing this since 2015. So that's why I called you out. And that's why I'm trying to humble you up to know that you are a novice. You have no idea about these scriptures to the depths that you need to know to be able to teach it, period. And I yield.
All right. So that was Tony's rebuttal to OT. Now it is OT's turn. And when you are ready, sir, you may begin with your 7-minute rebuttal. And again, you can ask questions to Tony, but I will have him respect your time as well.
Oh, I'm going to respect it anyway. Go ahead.
So when you're ready, you can begin.
The period goes in novice between no and vice. Tony, what's my vice?
Yourself. You get in your own way.
Which direction am I going aside from vertical?
Everywhere, in all directions.
And how does that make you feel?
I could care less, but when it affects individuals around you who I know, then I got a problem.
Okay, well, which individuals that you know that I'm affecting that I don't know I'm affecting? Hold on. Are you interrupting me during my time to talk now?
You know, I'm going to ask you real quick. Just let me get some clarification real quick, Tony, from OT, and I'm going to stop your time. So I just want to know, like, you're asking him kind of rapid fire. So as far as refereeing it, I got to know what pace you're wanting to go here.
I asked him what the vice is, and he said or implied the implication and the intonation from Tony, intoning that I now am somehow deceiving people that he knows and that I know that are complaining to him, but not to me.
But did he?
So who are these people? Like, I'm unaware of it, right? If you could explain that first.
No, this is what I'm saying.
What do you mean, no? You're going to come out here with accusations. Okay, let's get to the point of the whole thing. Hold on, Tony. Hold on. Shawn, can you have a look at me, my visage right now? If you had to pick color-wise, what type of human being I am, if you needed to denote a color or a shade to it, can you tell me what color I am?
I would guess Caucasian.
Okay,
White.
Caucasian typically being white, whatever, right? But in the Caucasus, they have in Southeast Asia, brown guys almost bordering on black. They're Caucasians, technically. So, yet,
I've always
under the term...
flesh-colored tan. Yes.
Well, the opposite of that would be a Negroid, which I don't exhibit any of those features. And then a derivative of that in street language of people educated by the street in the school of hard knocks that seem to have knocked their... Hold on a sec. What was that?
Well,
go ahead.
No. Who was interrupting me? I wasn't paying attention.
I did, but I muted his mic. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
I muted his mic.
No, you don't have to mute his mic. I want to know what he's saying. I need to decode what he's telling me.
He was saying that you were going to talk about how he called you the N-word.
Well, yes, I was now, but he brought it to this, right? Because I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to talk about it at all because I'm not on Tony's level. He's correct. I far surpassed it long time ago. The stuff you're coming to, I forgot about long time ago. You know, I'm busy living my life. You said it's your job. Are you working tonight, right now, this minute? You're working me now, right? You're working. It's your job as a watchman.
Question.
Yet, what day is it today, Tony? What day is it today, scripturally speaking? How do they refer to today?
The Shabbat.
The Shabbat. Well, they don't say that in the English version, and we're not going to use the Bible because the word Bible's in the Holy Scriptures. I use the Holy Scriptures. If you're using the Bible, that's your problem. That's your flock's misinterpretation. It's Holy Scriptures. Who authorized you even to be a teacher or to be a watchman, may I ask?
King Jesus.
Okay. And when did you rendezvous with him exactly and how? Can you describe that?
I rendezvoused him when
Occurrence.
I was locked up in jail, and I read this book, and I found out he was the king, and I wanted to learn more. And he said, "Lo, the door is open. Come," and I knocked. And then I went in, and he gave me all this knowledge. I had a teacher.
Okay, so you're saved. You're saved now. Then hold on. Are you saved right now?
Nobody's saved until you plant yourself into the ground.
All right. Correct.
I know this book.
All right, let's go. You still have 3.
So what's the issue? What would prompt you? My interaction with you.
Exposing you before the people is what I'm doing.
All right. I'm muted, Tony. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you can let him talk. It doesn't matter. You can let my time. What he has to say is important. I want to hear it just as much as everyone else, right?
Important, but he's going to get a chance to give a review.
No, it's okay. If he needs extra time, give it to him. I'll take less.
Well, it's nice that you would concede your time, but do you have anything more you want to say? I'm going to unmute his mic and let you continue forward if that's the way you want to.
Well, I mean, there's lots I want to ask.
I just want to make sure I'm being fair to you.
Well, there's lots I want to ask. You know, if it's his job and today's the Sabbath, why is he working? He's a hypocrite right there, right? Do the Holy Scriptures say that all men are liars?
Is it not lawful to do good on the Shabbat?
Dude, do I look like an ass or a sheep that fell in the ditch and you're now running around getting it out? Hold on. You're a hypocrite. I called you out on it, man. Like, just admit it. You don't like to admit when you're wrong. You don't like it.
I'm not wrong. That's your problem. You're
working on the Sabbath, dude, and you're making like you're under the law. So you are wrong. The words condemn you out of your own mouth.
No, they
out of
don't.
Your own mouth.
Just because you say my words condemn me, don't mean my words condemn me. Okay?
No, words don't mean anything. The word made everything in the beginning, and they don't mean anything. Do you even know the word of God? Tell me the word of God, Tony.
I read it on the Shabbat in order as it should be every Sabbath day. Come to the class.
What's the commandment of God?
There's 10. Actually, there's 613.
When does the New Testament start?
Matthew.
Which, verse?
Matthew 1.
Okay. Which, what's your favorite out of the whole book of Matthew? Whatever. Pick any line, any verse out of Matthew.
Listen.
Any line, pick one. Just pick one.
I don't pick ye fortune the Bible, okay?
Any of them.
As it says
any of them. Any of them. Pick any of Matthew. Any of it.
For what?
Just pick it. I'm testing you. God says to prove all things. Hold fast to that which is good, which is true. So I want to know. You said it starts in Matthew 1. I said pick any verse. Why are you being averse to picking a verse right now, Tony? Why?
What the hell do I need to pick a verse for?
Because I asked you. That's part of the game you engaged me in by paying attention to me. Why are you intercoursing and fucking with me now?
Listen, hush. The Bible says to the law.
You get to tell me to hush when it's my turn to talk. You got balls, dude.
What are you asking me?
No brains. The gap that you're standing in is the synapses between your neurons, dude. Like you're a stooge. Answer the question. Out of all of Matthew, pick a verse, any one of them.
I ain't picking no verse.
Why? Because you're a false what?
No. What the hell?
Yes, you're a hypocrite, dude.
Okay, here's a verse. The book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham.
Is that in Matthew? Is that in Matthew?
That's the first verse in the first chapter of the book of Matthew.
All right. Okay. Pick one that Jesus says.
That's not.
No.
Okay. Why not? Why not?
Good.
Why
'Cause
not?
That's
stupid.
the end of your
It's
time.
stupid.
Prove it.
Hold on.
Prove
You
it.
know what
Hold
you're
on.
Prove it.
trying to
I'm
do?
proving
All
it.
right, I'm
Line
done.
upon line.
Everyone's very emotional, but I am reclaiming this show right now. So I muted your mics. I'm going to give you a second to calm down. We are getting ready to have closing statements. I want to participate. I got things I want to ask both of you guys. And our audience wants to talk to you too. So we're going to finish our structured thing. So you both are going to get a chance to say what you want. I'm going to unmute your mic now because we're getting ready to start with Tony's closing statement. He's going to do 7 minutes on whatever he wants to say. He can use his time however you want. I let you use your time the way you want it. And now that's come to a close. Now we're into closing statements. This is your chance to give your final statement. You can use it however you want. You're each going to get 7 minutes. I'm getting ready to unmute your mics. This has been very good, right? By the way, I didn't do that. I did that just to make sure we stay structured. I will have an open discussion here at the end. But, okay, now you're both unmuted now. I just want to give a chance for Tony to give his closing statement, and then OT, you're going to get a chance for your closing statement, however you want to spend your last 7 minutes, and then we're all going to talk. But if you're ready, when you're ready, Tony, let me know, and I'll start your time. You get 7 minutes for a closing statement, whatever you want to address or close this out with to spend the rest of your time on.
All right.
You can go ahead and talk about whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready. So basically, this whole thing was to expose this dude. He don't know nothing, so don't think that this dude know anything about the Bible. He just out there trying to draw straws and all of that. So that's the whole point why I brought this debate. Let's read what a watchman is. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 1. It says, "Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto the children of the people, and say unto them, when I bring a sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coats and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword cometh upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity. But the blood will I require at the watchman's hand. So thou, son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word of my mouth and warn them from me." And that is what I do. I warn the people from God. I teach the people who they are, the gods of Israel. That is what I do. Let's go look at the false prophets real quick. Let's go to 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. 2 Peter chapter 2. Because y'all witnessing a false prophet right now, but he don't even know that he is, because he is tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine. So he don't have no foundation, which is why he try to entangle me in his little snares, thinking that he doing something, but he only killing himself. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. "Wherefore, laying aside all malice and guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babes, desire the sincere milk or first principles of the oracles of God, that you may grow thereby." Now, let's go over to, that was 1 Peter chapter 2. Now let's go to 2 Peter real quick, chapter 2. And then here's the false prophets. "But there were false prophets among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways," which is why this watchman is here today. "By reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of, and through covetousness shall they with vain words make merchandise of the people, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation shall not slumber." So they not gonna get away with what they do to the people. Let's go over to Titus now. We dealing with the false prophets. Titus 1:10. Titus 1:10, and it reads, "For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers whose mouths must be stopped," which is why I'm here. Who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not. This is why I'm here. Let's go over to 1 Timothy chapter 1. 1 Timothy chapter 1. 1 Timothy chapter 1 and 4. 1 Timothy 1 and 4, and it reads, "Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions rather than godly edifying, which is in faith. Now the end of the commandment is charity out of a pure heart and of a good conscience and of faith unfeigned, from which some have swerved, like this dude, have turned aside unto vain jangling, desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say nor what they affirm." That's him. Let's go over to Matthew chapter 24, and I yield. Matthew 24, we're going to pick it up at verse 5. Matthew 24 and 5. Matthew chapter 24, and we're going to pick it up at verse 5, and it reads.
Hold on, I'm not there yet. Hold on.
Go ahead, Tony.
"For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many." And that's what's happening. And I'm the watchman blowing the trumpet. Verse 24. There shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, and so much that if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect. This is why I'm keeping you in this book, because they gonna show these signs and wonders, and so much that they would deceive people who know the truth. And that's why I'm here blowing the trumpet on this false prophet. I yield.
You have 60 seconds. You sure you want to yield?
I yield.
Okay.
All glory to King Jesus.
All right. Well, that was Tony's closing statement. The last thing he wanted to make sure he got to say to you. So now you get to say whatever you want to Tony for 7 minutes.
I highly doubt that's the last thing that Tony has to say to me.
Well, it's the last thing he wants to say.
I'm through with you after this. No more communication. I don't need to. I did my job.
Thanks for proving me every time you open your mouth. Did I ask you before if all men are liars?
Are you ready to begin your closing statement? Go ahead.
Did I ask you if all men are liars earlier? Tony, you have to answer.
Now, hold on. Are you asking Tony questions?
I'm asking Tony this.
You know, questions, closing statement.
Yeah, during questions, it's just closing statement. We already did questions.
Okay, so the Holy Scriptures say in Ecclesiastes, right? You know what I'm going to say, right? Tony, do you want to say? It says, "Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun?" You refuse to be corrected out of the Holy Scriptures. And it says in Zechariah 7, verse 12, "Yea, they made their hearts as adamant stone, lest they should hear the law, and the words which the Lord," all capitalized, "of hosts hath sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord of hosts." Jesus Christ himself, the testator of the Testament, which Tony quoted word for word in Matthew there at the end of his summation, he happens to be alive. In Hebrews, it says when the testator dies, then you can open the last will and testament. I asked specifically where the New Testament starts. Tony doesn't even know where it starts. You can't be the testator of the Testament still alive and quoting the New Testament, which requires your death prior to that. So why are you quoting me the Old Testament when you're claiming it's the New Testament without that knowledge? You're accusing a teacher that gets from the Board of Education pension checks, minuscule amounts, by the way. I've been teaching children as a child from the age of 7 and onwards. Right? So you're asking me this kind of stuff. And then you're making accusations I subvert houses. Who was it that called me? Who was it that I encouraged? Who was it that as a convict for a husband, how many wives do you have? I don't know. I haven't checked. I don't know anything about you. You refuse to identify yourself when I asked you simple questions. The Bible says all men are liars. They lie when they catch themselves trying to protect their egos or whatever they've made themselves up, puffed up in pride. There is no ego. Ego's from psychoanalytic theory by the father of psychoanalysis. So there's a lot of things that you claim to be, is your seriousness, does that account for your dourness? Is the dourness of concise religion when Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of God, came forth from him, conceived by the Holy Ghost that overshadowed Mary and said that this holy thing that shall be made of thee shall be called the Son of the Highest, all capital letters, Jesus. And it also says how to be taught, how many baptisms there are. You continually oppose yourself every time you open your mouth. I think you have a zeal and a respect for God and Jesus. You don't have one for the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God, and not anything was made that wasn't made by him. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But to as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. And we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth it not. God is light, for in him is no darkness at all. And Jesus is the true light, capitalized. And you don't know the word of God. Let alone do you know the commandment that you said yourself even. You expose your own self, boasting yourself, puffing yourself up. I mean, it's not like I'm treading someone that has an established ministry of sincere believers that are spotting someone that's like a roving lion to and fro. You're the deceptive one, perverting my Father's book that I call Abba. So King Jesus, that you change his word, that he said, not one jot, not one tittle shall in no wise change, also said that ye are not under the law, yet you want to put yourself under the law and break it. The 10 that were not under, the other 613, when a lawyer came to him and said, what's the greatest commandment? And if you said, I am the truth, I am the way, I am the life, the next word coming out of your mouth, the next syllable, the next vibration coming out of your mouth as the word, if it's incorrect, will condemn you from being that specific, very one that you refer to as King Jesus, which is the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, all capitalized, which makes it contractual in the King James 1611, pure Cambridge edition. There are no versions of God. There are editions of God. And I'm made in the image of God. God is love. God is light. God is truth. God is good. And he made us male and female in the beginning, and he breathed into Adam's nostrils the Lord God, capitalized, Lord God, capitalized, into Adam's nostrils, and he became a living soul. And now I'm made in the image of God, and you condemn 90% of the world by definition out of the 1828 Webster's Dictionary that I immediately read to you when you, as a false shepherd and accuser, attached your line as a troll, trolling back and forth without identifying yourself then or the intervening months, which you've admitted several times you've scrutinized, yet not once ever pointing out how this novice has made no vice. And you're a convict, not authorized by the commandment giving from the everlasting God unto all nations for the obedience of faith. You're not even rooted and grounded, Tony. You're a joke. You take yourself out. Why did Jesus die?
Time. That was the end of the closing. I don't think we worked everything out. I don't think I have a lot of questions.
Tony works it out for himself. He leans on his own understanding every chance he gets. The Bible says not to.
Time.
Yeah, when you're busted, it's time, right? Yeah. Okay, Tony. Sure.
So that closes.
Thanks for wasting mine.
We can begin our discussion right now if you feel like you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Brother Yankee, can I take a bathroom break real quick?
Well, I think we all can. You want to do that?
Sure.
I'm going to play something that takes 90 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody gets a little break, and we'll be back in just a second.
All right, cool.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
All right. That was intense. No. All right. Our guests aren't back yet. I'm pretty quick about this. Plus, there's a bathroom like right down the hall from my studio, so I'm able to get there pretty quickly. I'm going to give them a little bit more time. But that was intense, right? So they have a large disagreement. What it centers around is whether or not they are actually acting as a teacher, as a prophet, or as a watchman, like Tony likes to refer to himself as, which is a term that I saw in the comments at least one person hadn't been familiar with before. I also am trying to learn more and get more familiar with biblical topics. I'm very spiritual, would be the way I would probably say it, but, probably not that religious. I did have a church I liked, but I do see why people have problems with religion. Organized religion, there's problems there. I mean, you really can't, question that. I'm sure you're aware of that. But I see that they're getting back in, right? They're back with us, right? They're joining us again. They're getting back in the building. So I'm going to put my ears back on. But I was saying something. It was clever probably and probably made a lot of sense. Anyways, I forgot what it was. Our guests are back. And let's get them back in here because we're going to have a discussion. That's what I was saying. It was intense. It was really cool. But now it's time for us to break it all down. Like I have questions. I know you have questions. There were a ton of comments during the discussion. But now everybody got to at least lay it out. So I hope you at least feel better. I don't think that we agree with each other at this point. No.
I'm happy with the outcome personally.
I thought it went well. Like at least you got to express your side of it, and your points.
Agreed.
But I have a lot of questions.
And thank you for hosting. Excellent hosting, and I really appreciate you. And I've always thought that you are very professional, and I've always supported your show since God knows when. So thank you for having us.
Well, I appreciate it. This went really well, in my opinion. Like I was saying, when we were taking our little break, I got back first and I was talking to everybody about how I think it went really well because there were different views expressed. Like I even think I got some of OT's perspective. We're gonna ask some questions and clarify, but maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I it's just sometimes it's a different way of saying things, and maybe you're saying the same thing. You never really know. We're gonna find out. But there were a lot of interesting comments during even, and I
didn't see any. I haven't seen any comments actually.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna back up a little bit and look through and look for some things to interject because there was a ton. There was a lot of people. Great conversation going on in the comment section, and so we're going to get to that, and I'm going to tell you even some of the stuff because I can show you what they said on Facebook, but Rumble doesn't have that. So I'll let you know what was going on Rumble as well. But yeah, there was a good conversation in the comments. People were very into it. It was very interesting.
Good. Yeah, no, I had fun. I wanted to thank you as well. Sure. So I think I was still muted at the time, but yeah, I mean, even your commentary back from the break was, it's good. Like I hope we work together, our paths cross more often in the future, right?
Well, I mean, like I said in the beginning, I just met you, but I got to accepted your friend request, and I'm looking forward to following your content and getting to know you. So that'd be good.
Well, it'll be jarring, because as Tony says, it seems scattershot, but it's only when people don't have the information readily available to themselves that they struggle to decode it. So it often then defaults to the lowest common base denominator to just lashing out or name calling and things like that. But I've been opposed, in every avenue.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm just
okay. There's a good question from Susan. Yeah. No, read that out.
All right. She said you can't question OT. No matter the subject, he'll turn the table on you and become argumentative.
Okay. What about if it's something where the person that I give the correct answer to is resistant to it and I reiterate it? Do you ever notice that at that time volume goes up or active denial of lies comes forth? Like I do it with my parents. I mean, it's like everybody.
Typically 2 admonitions and then you move on. You give them two admonitions and then you move on. Because if they don't listen after 2 times, they ain't even trying to hear you.
But we're not taught. I've never discussed the Holy Scriptures with Susan. This is just on my private or her private page that's listed as public, but if we're on Facebook, we're on a private thing. Doesn't matter how public they say. If they can censor me.
She's observing what you do, bro.
I know, but it's still private. We've never discussed the scriptures. You're talking from a scriptural perspective. I'm talking from a getting to know somebody perspective.
Okay.
Like I've only ever viewed you as receptive. When I saw you the first time, Tony, hold on. Let's compare how we interacted.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Right now, everybody's arguing. No. Now
it's people being resistant to the truth when it's presented. It's not an argument at all.
And you're arguing with me about saying you're arguing.
Right.
Yeah. No. Come on. Hold on. Let's talk. Because I have a question. You use a lot of scripture. I noticed that myself, but you also seem a little theatrical, which is nothing wrong with that. But
am I supposed to?
In what way?
No, but is that an issue? Is that an issue with you?
No.
What's theatrical?
Shawn Yankee show.
What's theatrical? What's theatrical?
Right now, myself. I'm aware that I'm on camera. I'm
but
in a way to try to be entertaining. Being theatrical, you were being theatrical.
But how do you go theatrical? Like, what's theatrical to you? Like, I don't get it. Like, just being myself is now theater. It's entertainment to you. Is that why everybody's watching?
You don't think you have a look or a way you present yourself or a way that you act or speak?
Dude, this is the worst I've ever looked in my life. Like,
I feel that you are fucking entertaining in a way that you do streaming and stuff to entertain people and teach. Do you think that you put on an entertaining performance?
I'm just myself. Whatever I do,
Do you feel
I'm
it's
myself.
Fucking valuable and entertaining? Do you stream?
What's that?
Do you teach? Do you put out the word? Do you talk about things and try to put things out? Do you put on a
Dude, I
performance?
just taught one of the major
I'm
lessons
right now, sir.
But I just
I'm
taught
honest about it. I'm at least honest. I
Sean,
understand I'm on
Sean,
camera.
you
We're
missed
having a
it. You
conversation.
missed
It's
it.
live.
You just
I
missed
didn't miss
one
it.
of the
I watched you
greatest
perform. I
oratory.
let you perform. I did. I fucking watched you play a song for 7 minutes, and then I let you talk and ramble on for 7 minutes and make your point.
Now I'm rambling. So being myself is now rambling to you. Okay, wonderful.
Oh my
So
God.
why don't you just take out knives and start throwing them or axes? You know,
we're gonna ask more questions. Like she's right though. Like you can't. You're being argumentative. There's no reason to be fighting me right now.
How am I fighting you? I'm asking you how I'm. But by being myself, okay. I'm rambling now. No, but hold on a sec.
We're gonna move on though, because I'm pretty good at this. We're gonna go to another question.
Doing it for years.
We're gonna see what people were wanting because they had things they wanted to know too. I wanted to
like I'm busy 20 hours a day, literally for years, and I gotta stop and do this stuff.
Can you hush and let Shawn Yankee run his show?
Listen,
please.
Like, do you feel like you're?
Hold on, this is a show. This is like for. I didn't know it was going to be organ grinding like in the street so people could throw money and clap. Is this what it is to you?
On a show.
No, like, he said it's a game. You said it's a show. I'm living my life. What's going on here? Tell me the truth. Be honest now.
You're doing the intro.
The world is not changing unless you guys stop lying and be authentic. You, Susan, everyone. Right now, what's your problem? What is your issue? What's your issue? What's your issue?
Do you feel like
I'm just being me. Why are you guys attacking me? It's a legitimate question. You've ganged up on me. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? I've allowed you into my home. I've allowed you into my warehouse, my atelier, workshop.
I'm so honored. Are you?
But no, but why? Why do I get this disrespect? Like, well, what is it?
Disrespect.
You think this is respectful? You think this is respectful?
Are you a teacher?
I said yes, and I get pension checks from the Board of Education.
Yes, I would have let it go. Thank you.
But I said that. Rewind your own tape.
No, you're just being.
This is why I want my life live stream.
No, over me because I'll just mute your fucking mic. Like you just can't be argumentative just to be argumentative, dude. I will let you talk. I will let you present your views. I did it already. I let you have a full fucking conversation and present your views. I let you play a fucking song for 7 minutes.
Right.
Like I will let you talk, man. I'm gonna unmute your mic as soon as I see that you're done ranting and fucking raving. But all I wanted you to do was tell me if you consider yourself a teacher, because I got 3 pages of fucking questions. I let you guys talk for an hour.
Right.
So we're talking.
I mean, come on. Jesus.
Are you ready to communicate again with everybody as a group? Okay.
Start the questions, you please.
Yeah. Thank you for answering the first one.
Okay.
We're just gonna look through. I'm gonna look through the comments. Did you have anything to say as well, Tony? Like you can have a question too.
All I can say is it speaks for itself, right? In the comments, brothers and sisters, everything is speaking for itself, ain't it, y'all? I ain't got to say nothing.
Is this what you were implying? I wrote this down myself because you kind of implied.
Hold on.
You implied a few things about Jesus.
I implied a few. No, I quoted word for word from the top of my head.
I'm asking you, OT, what do you think of Jesus? Is Jesus
like he made everything that we see?
What?
Jesus Christ made everything that we see. You didn't know that?
I'm saying that in the way that Jesus.
Hold on, you wait a minute. You didn't. You guys did. You didn't know that.
No, I didn't say it.
Hold on.
I'm asking you to clarify the question.
Hold on. So, strengthened with all might, according to His glorious power, unto all patience and long suffering with joyfulness,
is Jesus
giving
Christ
thanks unto the Father. Thank you, Father.
Which hath Christ, the Son of God.
Right, which hath made us be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light. Hold on, light.
Can we hear from the people?
You're interrupting God's word now, not me.
No,
he's
interrupting Rotisserie.
He asked me who Jesus is. I'm telling you from His word.
You're not answering it.
I'm answering from His word.
All right, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to say what you're saying because it sounds
Okay.
like bullshit to me. But go ahead.
Who are the inheritance of the saints in light, who hath delivered us from the power of darkness and hath translated us into his kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature, for by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him.
So you agree?
That's who Jesus Christ is. That's who I believe he is.
The Son of God.
Well,
All
Drew
things
Brady
were created by
Is he
him
the fucking Son
and
of God? Why do you do
for
that every
him.
time I ask you a
He's
fucking
the only
question?
begotten Son of God. I'm a
Why
son
is
of
this
God.
the second time I've had to mute your microphone? And why do you think I fucking won't do it? You're not going to talk over me on my show. Like, this is disrespectful as fuck. Like, I ask you a question you want to put on a show, and then you tell me you're not putting on a performance. Fuck you. For real, man. Like, we can talk. I want to talk. I'm having a good time talking to you, but you're not going to be a dick and scream at me on my fucking show.
Exactly, bro.
I'm going to look for another question, dude. I'm going to let him rant and rave because he's ranting to himself right now.
Yeah, let's let the people speak.
I want to hear him, and I want to be able to let him answer for what he said. Because, look, at this point, I just have to say I'm agreeing with Tony that you're being a bullshitter because at minimal, you're bullshitting.
Yeah.
Like you're putting on a little fucking show. You have a character that you're clearly acting out, and you're using scripture to do it. You don't answer direct questions, and you're argumentative. Like, bam. Now, I'm going to unmute you for a second just to see if you have a rebuttal to that. You're going to get a chance to talk. But go ahead. You're not muted now.
I read to you directly from the Word of God, and you're saying that I'm making. Hold on. You're agreeing with Tony that never uses the Word of God unless he's robotically speaking from it. Hold on. Hold on. Why are you interrupting me? You just said you'd allow. Did you not say that you would allow me to speak?
I am.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm not going to let you bullshit either, though.
Okay. Can you point to an example of me bullshitting?
Just say what you're going to say, man.
I literally read line upon line, precept upon precept, telling you who.
What'd you say when I asked you if Jesus is the Son of God?
I said he's the only begotten Son of God. And then I said, I'm now a son of God.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Are you equal to Jesus?
Am I equal to Jesus? No.
Yes.
How am I ever going to be equal to the one that made everything? How? How is that possible? Never.
Man,
never.
Riddles,
all of us put together are not equal to Jesus. What are you talking? What do you mean? What am I saying?
What are you saying?
I'm answering your questions. You asked me who Jesus is. I just read you his word from his book. Well, you're laughing at it. You're not laughing at me. That's God's word. Hey, talking about stamping feet. You guys, what are you guys doing?
I'm not.
I feel bad for giving you the finger. That was a little bit theatrical. No. That's it. Should have been for Susan, but
I don't give a shit. What?
No, she loves you. You need to be quiet and let Shawn Yankee run this show.
Look, I wanted to let you talk and answer questions. I still do. I still will.
Yeah, I'm making myself available to you. So go ahead and ask.
Thank you for doing that, by the way. I appreciate
it. No, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank you too, Tony. Like I thank God for my enemies. You've made yourself to be an enemy. Because when I first saw you, I saw you reading from the scriptures. I commended you on reading from the KJV word for word. I watched you read commas, everything. And, it was only a couple minutes. I'm like, hey, good thing, whatever it was. Then the next day I saw you on a TikTok. I don't know if it wound through because now I have friends on TikTok, or not TikTok, but whatever that other Instagram thing is where the TikTok plays. So now you were standing in front of this thing. It had like propaganda from the dictionary behind you. I'm like, fuck, this is great. That's my maternal grandfather's favorite word. Boom, propaganda. What did I say? Way to go. Bang, right out. It wasn't the 1828, but close enough, right?
Right.
The next day, I get a post on my page from you calling me a nigga, which Shawn on his thing said I'm white.
No, hold on. It was
Hold
on
on.
my page, and I
Why are
said
you
this
interrupting
nigga is
me?
a false prophet. And you know
It
why I
doesn't
say
matter,
nigga?
Tony.
It's because nigga
You
is a
never
byword and a
interacted with me
proverb.
afterwards, and tonight again.
And
You
that's how I
reiterate.
talk anyway. I say Shawn Yankee, that's my nigga. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm a,
Did I ask you how many
I'm gonna be
times
honest
did
with you.
how many
I've had a
times did I
black
ask
person
you to
tell me that I'm
verify
You
not
it?
ain't
a
a
How
real
many
street
times?
friend
dude,
if I
man.
won't
You
let
just
you
How
not
say
a
many
that.
did
I
you
street
don't use
dude,
verify?
those
bruh.
words.
What is a nigga? You tell me now. I used the
Never
1828 dictionary.
ignorant getting
I used
gold to
every
profit.
word. I used every word related to it, Tony. Every
Whatever,
word.
man.
You didn't
I call
respond.
everybody a nigga.
Why are you
I've
slurring
been doing
me
that
and
since I've
90%
been on
by
Facebook.
90% of the world by definition? Caucasians are less than 10%.
Why is you making this a race thing? Nigga ain't a race.
It's an uncomfortable word, though.
I know it is it's cause of the history. You know what I'm
I'm kind of
saying?
surprised OT was so comfortable saying it.
If I knew what you were saying, why would I repeatedly ask you?
But look, like I understand
If
both
you were
sides of this
telling the
one.
truth, you would have told me the first time. Or you would have
Yeah, I
apologized
feel relief.
like I asked you to. And you never did, and you still don't.
Hold on, tell him the
Why?
truth about what?
Why, Tony? Why?
Why
This is
what?
man to man. Forget the Bible. Forget teaching. Forget
No,
jail.
forget the
Forget
Bible.
work.
That's the
Forget
whole reason we
business.
here.
Forget all of it. Why are you as a man acting rude? Were you raised in a barn? What the fuck is the matter with you?
No,
Call someone a
because
nigger? When you've been watching him for 2
I
months?
am not, dude.
Why are you
All right, hold on,
lurking?
hold on, hold on,
Why are you
hold on,
lurking?
hold on,
Why are you lurking? Why are you
hold on.
lurking in the
Hold
shadows?
on. You just used the fucking hard R, dude. You're acting offended by the word nigga, and you just used the hard R.
What's hard R?
Nigger.
Hey, and
Yes,
then
you
you know
did.
what he was doing? You know what he was
But
doing?
this is
Stop fucking getting on your
the
high horse
issue.
and
This is
acting theatrical.
he's trying to
You're picking a
protect his
word to be
lack of
offended by.
respectability.
Listen,
Okay, doesn't know. Go ahead, ask me questions. But you don't
I'm
listen
gonna
to the
finish my
answers
statement
anyway.
is what I'm going to do. I'm still going to do it because what I'm saying is that you can't just scream over somebody to try to make your point and not ever answer a question or address things. Like you're getting offended by the nigga thing, and I was trying to take your side. I don't know if you saw that, but I was because it is kind of a tough word. I've had a black friend of mine. Well, he's not a friend of mine anymore. Over
Can I
different things.
speak
But
now, or are
listen,
you?
I'm
Are
not
you?
fucking done speaking.
You
I
let him
unmuted you
finish his
because
story.
you're unmuted now. But I'm going to finish what I was saying. I had a black friend that told me that I wasn't a real friend if I wouldn't use the N-word, if I wouldn't say it around him, that I wasn't really his friend because that means that I'm racist secretly or whatever. I just think it's an offensive word. It's a stupid word. Nobody should really use it. I don't like that they use it in rap songs. And
right.
you know,
But
everybody
you know what I'm
fucking
saying?
says
I
it in a
grew
rap
up
song, whether you
and
want to or not, because you get caught up in the song and you just say it. But I've never been as comfortable saying it as you just were a little while ago, and I don't ever use the hard R, especially if I was pretending to be offended by being called the NA, which is something that they just is not is not always meant in a hateful way.
Right.
It's an easy thing to pick up on it and pretend you're offended by so that you don't have to face the real questions or real agenda or real narrative going on.
Not hateful. What is there being loving from Tony towards me? What is there being that's not hateful?
It's all about you. That's the problem. That's why we having this debate.
Shawn, why aren't you muting his mic? Why aren't you muting his mic? Why aren't you muting his mic?
Well, right now he's not screaming over top of me.
Well, hold on a second. I was talking.
I've let you say a lot of things.
He was. Why is it now different? Why are there different?
Muted you ever when you're only trying to outscream me?
Why are there different rules for me and Tony?
There's not. I just fucking told you why I muted you.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Right? If I raise my voice from now till the end of the program,
have I muted you without warning you multiple times? By the way,
I don't know. I'll have to rewatch the dude. I'm now gonna have to rewatch my own tape to watch you watch you oppose yourself. No,
right now,
guy, I'm the victim. Well, he's the one that's accusing me. That's calling me these derogatory term. Do Black Lives Matter, Tony? Do Black Lives matter to you? Do Black Lives, Tony? Do Black Lives matter to you?
And you are a teacher.
Israelite lives matter to me.
Hold on, Tony. I'm going to address what he just said, and then you can
Okay.
answer his Black Lives Matter question, because that has
All
nothing
right.
to fucking do with what we were talking about. But you were saying you're a teacher, and he's saying you have to do that with integrity. His problem with you is that you're not teaching with integrity. You're more being theatrical and doing it for views and attention.
Exactly.
So that's what he's saying. Now you can answer the Black Lives Matter question, Tony, if you want.
I think Israelite lives matter. And I'm not talking about the fake JOOSs. I'm talking about the real ones.
What are the real ones? What are the real Israelites? What are the real Israelites? What is an Israelite? Define Israelite.
Everybody who accept Jesus as king and his nation and his church Israel are Israelites until the coming of Jesus, and then the immigration period is cut off.
Okay. Immigration to where? Immigration to where? Immigration to where?
In the land that or not your brother, because you ain't a part, but that our
damn
brother
good thing I'm not, because you're not quoting it. Like, I know it. You don't.
So, folks, in the comments, just to let y'all know, y'all see for yourself the character. You see for yourself, this dude is a false prophet. You see for yourself.
Besides a band, what is ABBA?
Daddy. It means daddy in Aramaic. Daddy.
In what way is it biblical, though?
Yeah,
because it's written in the Holy Scriptures. I don't know if it's biblical. I don't read the Bible. I read the Holy Scriptures. I suggest you gentlemen get a copy of it and read it according to the commandment given from the everlasting God unto all nations, for the obedience of faith, Tony.
Did you just
faith.
hear me calmly ask
What's your faith in, Tony?
You talk over me.
What's your faith in, Tony?
Because when I mute you for doing it, you're going to act like you don't know why.
Mute me whatever you want, Shawn. Fuck
you,
know.
Man.
No,
no, fucking stream,
not fuck me. No. Not fuck me.
Who the fuck do you think you are, man?
No, I'm me.
No, for
Who
real.
are you? Who are you?
I was calmly fucking trying to talk to you.
Why aren't you calm now?
Then go fuck yourself.
Why aren't you calm now?
Mute his mic. Yeah. See, bro. This is what I deal with, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know, because I really was gonna give him a chance to express his side of it, dude. Because I after your debate, honestly, I have to tell you, after the debate, I was on your side. Like, as far as being a false prophet, but I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I had 3 pages of questions. Like, I was going to ask him things about whether he was doing a character or, had some kind of other agenda that we may be missing, because, there's some theatrical elements and he's kind of bullshitting a little bit and being very fucking vague on purpose. So I was going to give him a chance to tell me about that stuff, but he didn't want to.
Exactly, bro. That's man. And that's all I wanted to expose. So, yeah. And he was pissing me off because I'm like, let fucking Shawn talk, dude. It's his show.
Yeah, I'm gonna take control of it. Like Joe was worried earlier too, because I understand things are good and people are having a good time. Like I said earlier, when he wouldn't admit he was performing, I realize I'm doing a show right now. So like, when I thought things were entertaining or people might be enjoying themselves, I'd let it play out. Or when they were having a debate, I gave him his time. Like, that song, that was 7 minutes of hell, by the way.
Know, right, dude? Like, what the hell is that?
I never thought I would get sick of hearing I love you, but that was fucked up. I couldn't believe he used his opening statement to do that.
Oh my gosh, bro, that blew my mind. I was like, what the hell?
But, he's interesting, but he's got to admit he's doing a character.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's all. And that's the only reason I even came out. It's like, this dude phony, y'all. If y'all don't see it, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
And, if I had all night to argue, that was fun. I'm sure people are having a good time. I've noticed it's doing good. People are having a good time. People are talking. It's interesting. Yeah. Some people have had to go. It's late. That's kind of the reason why I had to cut it off myself, because pretty soon we're going to have to wrap up, and I could see he wasn't going to let me do that. He won't. He's got an agenda. Like,
Exactly,
he's not
bro.
quit with the character and the act, and he's never
See,
going to answer
see,
question.
you see it, and I know if you see it, everybody in the comments see
It's
it.
not projection, Pot. I tried to be fair. I even kept telling him, and you didn't hear it. Like, really, I don't know. Some people did.
Pod
Like, I
Johnson
saw
mad at
Sandy
me.
earlier said I was
Pod
being
Johnson
mean.
mad at me about Bob Dylan because I said Bob Dylan was a Satan worship, so he pissed.
Sandy said earlier that I was being too hard on you guys, specifically probably OT, I guess. I don't know. I
think you did an excellent job, dude. I shut my mouth when I was supposed to. I let you lead. You're the leader. You know what I'm saying? You get in your place.
I was trying to be fair.
You was fair, bro. I shut my mouth when I was supposed to, and he didn't. That was the problem.
I thought so. I mean, he was asking why I didn't mute him, and during this time, it was because we're having a conversation, but I'm leading it. Like, if you're going to keep talking over me or ignoring me, I'm going to have to mute you, and you weren't doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I agree 100. Hell yeah.
I thought we could have a conversation, but I don't know. Something's wrong. Something went wrong.
Yeah.
But
dude out there,
went
man.
good, I thought. And, I thought you did a good job of bringing out your points. And I, like I said, at the end, agreed with you. I was going to give him a chance to prove me wrong, but he didn't do it.
No, because he is who he is, bro. But I thank you, brother Shawn Yankee. This was an excellent experience. And as always, I'll be looking at your show all the time. Been watching you since 2015 when you first came out and been down ever since. I just have things that come over me and I got to go for a little bit to fix myself, come back, and I'm fixed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good
man. I'm
now.
glad you're doing better now.
Hell yeah, man. I'm in a good place. Yeah. So I thank you.
For sure.
I thank you for everything. I thank you so much.
Thank you for doing it. Thank you for bringing it to me. It was entertaining. I had a good time.
Yeah, I did too. I had a good time. So if you want to read comments or whatever, I sit here with you, or if you're just gonna close it out. So it's whatever you want to do.
I was going to talk a little bit, but I'm going to wrap up pretty soon. But if you want to hang out for it, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll just hang out.
A lot of people were agreeing. I mean, certain people, like, you were saying Pod, for one, thinks that we didn't give OT a fair shake. I thought I did.
You did, bro.
I'm just not going to spend the whole fucking show. We're not going to scream over each other. That's not entertaining.
Right.
That's not fun for anybody.
And then you're trying to ask him questions, and then he's going into these big freaking ordeals. Answer his damn question. That was frustrating as hell. I'm like, that's a good question. Oh my God, he's not going to answer it. You know what I'm saying? What the hell?
And Robin's right. Like, entertainment, like I'm saying, like, I would let it be entertaining, but he wouldn't let me know. Like, do you consider yourself a teacher? Because that's what Tony's wanting to know. That's what this whole thing's about. Like, are you being a teacher and like trying to teach people and be authentic or not? Like, is it something else you're doing? Because that's okay. Is that what you were saying? Am I summing it up correctly? Like,
and the summary of it. Are you a teacher or are you just doing your thing? If you're just doing your thing, I ain't got no problem with it. But people coming to me like, this dude a teacher and you should hook up with him. I look at him, I'm like, no, he ain't. He a false prophet. Watch this. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when it all went down. And then he showed, you know what he could have said? Why are you accusing me and you don't know me? Initially, if he would have said that off top, I would have been like, you know what? You're right. My bad. But he didn't. He immediately attacked me and went on the deep end. So that's why we ended up at this debate.
Well, it went good. I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I mean, and I really felt like I tried at least to be fair. So for Pod,
bro, you let him talk for so long. You know what I'm saying? I didn't bitch or complain or nothing.
Yeah, I felt like it went good. So, and I'm not mad at him. It's just I'm not going to do that. I didn't want to boot him from the studio. I wasn't going to keep fucking muting him, though. At a certain point, it gets silly.
Right.
And I knew we were going to wrap up soon, and I knew he wasn't going to let me do it. I would rather put a peaceful bow on it.
Right.
But, anyway, it didn't happen the way I wanted it to. But it happened, and it was good, I think. Hopefully everybody enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Tony. And
no problem.
Thank everybody for hanging out and participating. And somebody was talking about they need to rewatch. I got to rewatch it too. because there's a lot I know I missed just trying to keep everything going. But, you know, that was cool. And thanks for bringing it to me. I'm glad to have hosted it. I had a good time myself. So I'm glad everybody else did.
Yep.
And I will see all of you guys back here Monday. And enjoy your weekend. And God bless.
All right. See you on the Morning Yank Monday.
Yep.
All right.